6 warning signs a stroke is coming. Cerebral stroke is a leading cause of serious disability in the US at the moment. Each year, thousands of people suffer from it, and a lot of them are first-timers. Thankfully, there are several warning signs to tell you ahead of time that something's not right, so that you can protect yourself. Before you find out what they are, be sure to click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to join us on the bright side of life. The statistics for this condition are dire, to say the least. According to the Internet Stroke Center, every year almost 800,000 people suffer from stroke, and only for 150,000 of them is it a recurrence. So what exactly happens when you experience a stroke? The most accurate way to describe it is a heart attack for your brain. A cerebral stroke occurs when some parts of the brain get interrupted. As a result, the body can't function normally and needs urgent medical attention to get back to its normal state. The most confusing thing about a stroke is that even though its symptoms usually develop quickly, it can still take hours or even days to notice that something's wrong. However, there are some red flags you should never ignore, no matter how minor they seem at the moment. So let's start with Number 1. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is never a good thing. It can lead to a whole bunch of serious problems, including a stroke, because it damages the nerves in your brain and weakens the blood vessels. Apart from that, according to the Mayo Clinic, high blood pressure can result in a clot forming in the bloodstream. If these clots move further to the brain, it can cause a transient ischemic attack. Often called a mini-stroke, this sort of attack is a warning from your system that you have an increased chance of experiencing a full-blown stroke next time around. So be sure to keep your blood pressure in check to minimize any possible risks. Number 2. Vision problems. Strokes can affect your eyesight as well. It can cause double vision, blurred vision, and even a notable loss of vision in one eye. A survey conducted in the UK confirmed this too. About 1,300 stroke patients remembered having vision problems before the attack. So whenever you notice that your vision is suddenly changing, contact your doctor as soon as you can. Of course, it could be nothing, but there's still a possibility that your quick reaction will prevent something serious from happening. Number 3. Numbness on one side of the body. You've probably heard that numbness or weakness in the face, an arm, or a leg on either side of your body is a common sign of an upcoming stroke. In some cases, you can also expect paralysis on the opposite side of where the stroke occurred in the brain. Luckily, it's pretty hard not to notice this red flag. It'll allow you to seek help just in time to prevent any irreversible damage. Number 4. Dizziness or fatigue without any reason. A study conducted by the School of Public Health at the University of Michigan showed that vertigo and dizziness are one of the most frequent factors among patients who had a stroke. This state of confusion is most likely the result of the affected side of the brain. So, once again, don't assume that it'll go away on its own. Call a doctor and find out what it's all about. Number 5. A sudden migraine or severe headache. Strong headaches and migraines never appear out of thin air. In case of a stroke, it happens simply because the blood flow to the brain is either blocked or cut off due to an interruption in the bloodstream. All these processes provoke a vessel tear that turns into a headache so severe that you can barely cope. Keep in mind that this is one of the most obvious signs of a possible stroke, so you definitely shouldn't overlook it. Number 6. Stiffness in the neck or shoulder pain. A ruptured blood vessel in the brain can easily cause a stiff neck or shoulder pain. To find out whether it's actually stroke bad or not, try to touch your chest with your chin. If you can't do that at all, even though it's never been a problem before, that's a really bad sign. Consult your doctor immediately and make sure to follow all their recommendations. And these are basically all the must-know signals of an upcoming stroke. But don't go anywhere yet. Just like any other condition, certain groups are at higher risk of having a stroke. And the more of these categories you fall into, the more careful you have to be. According to the National Center for Biotechnology Information, you're more likely to have a stroke if, again, you have high blood pressure, 140/90 or above. You're an older man. Women and younger people have a slightly reduced chance of having a stroke. You smoke. Smoking can affect the amount of oxygen that reaches your brain. It causes an unbelievable amount of damage to your blood vessels and leads to high blood pressure. One more great reason to finally give up this bad habit. You have diabetes. To put it short, this condition is caused by a deficiency of the insulin hormone that regulates your body's blood sugar levels. When there's a lack of insulin in your system, it can't reach the parts of your body where energy is needed, like your brain. You have heart disease. Heart disease provokes blood clots. You already know by now that an interruption of blood flow can leave you one step away from having a stroke. Other risk factors that can get you in trouble include alcohol and drug abuse, obesity, an unhealthy diet, depression, anxiety, and a sedentary lifestyle. All these things can trigger certain processes in your body that can result in a stroke one way or another. So just pick your menu carefully, exercise regularly, and take care of your mental health by reducing your stress levels. But what should you do if you have a stroke? If it happens and there's no one around to help you, call 911 or your local emergency number. Do not try to drive yourself to the hospital. As you're waiting for an ambulance, don't eat or drink anything. Your system doesn't need even more work right now. And finally, try not to panic. Easier said than done, I know. But if you're under 60 years of age, your chances of survival are pretty high. Your nerves and anxiety, however, will only make the situation worse. If you're supporting a patient, your friend, or just a random person who's having a stroke, make sure to act quickly. Again, your first step is to observe the patient carefully and call 911 or your local emergency number to notify the operator about the situation and the patient's current condition. As you're waiting for an EMS, try to keep the patient on their side so that their head is a bit elevated. They may vomit, so be prepared to support their head in case that happens. And don't forget to speak to them in a calm manner to lower their panic and anxiety. By following these simple steps, you'll provide the best help you can before the ambulance gets there. Do you know any other symptoms of a stroke? Tell us in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and click subscribe to stay on the bright side of life.